The Nice Guy and the Damsel in Distress. Warning, some audiences may find this content disturbing. View at your own discretion. Welcome to the House of Reddit. Today, we share some of the recent r/NiceGuy stories posted on Reddit. The Nice Guy and the Damsel in Distress. I had a really long story about my nice guy. Pushed me into a situationship knowing I was vulnerable and not thinking clearly at the time. After several weeks I start to wonder what I got myself into and asked to DTR. Cue verbal abuse and mind-blowing manipulation, blaming me for stressing him out and pressuring him into a commitment, even though that was exactly what he claimed he was after when he ignored my request to back off until I got my head clear. I made it very clear all along I was not going to be FWB. Shit gets bad, he bounced out the door after saying some truly awful things. In an attempt at ending things amicably, I told him I wished he hadn't pushed me so hard to begin anything with him at a time I was vulnerable and not thinking clearly. He responded that he had to save the damsel in distress. Literally. I delete his number and move on. 9 months later he comes crawling back all full of apologies and missing me so very much. Could I please come over so he could apologize properly? Hounds me for days, begging me to come over and fuck him because he misses everything about me and he's changed, he'll prove it. I agree to go to breakfast with him so we could talk. Spent the day. Not much talking gets done, he's too busy trying to fuck me. Less than 24 hours later, he starts with the exact same mind games and BS as last time. Accusing me out of nowhere of trying to lock him down for life and make long-term plans for his future. I went quiet for a couple days because I needed to think about how I wanted to proceed from here. He keeps alternating between sending me texts saying that he's just so nervous about fucking things up again that he doesn't know what to say, and coming up with completely random drama trying to start a fight. By this point, I knew exactly how this would play out, so I wasn't in the mood to deal with his emo BS for weeks on end. I told him not to be a douchebag again, and if he wanted to talk about it, he could call me. Somehow, that meant I was putting him on the spot and he felt he had no choice but to walk away. I point out that he did the exact same douchey thing in the very same manner as last time. Cue script flip, it's my fault that he didn't want to talk to me properly. Because I only make him feel bad and try to guilt him into doing what I want. But oh wait, he didn't want me to completely cut him off again, because he wanted me to still talk to him. I said if he wanted that, he should have dealt with me properly. He said it was his decision, I didn't have to be okay with it. But wait, he will answer his phone and talk to me anytime I call him. As long as he's not busy or something. Because I needed to remember that when it gets bad and I feel I have no one to talk to, I was the one who cut him off. A lesson in being too forgiving with a nice guy being weird. A few days ago, I got a friend request from this guy. I didn't immediately recognize him, but we had a few mutuals and I saw he was LDS, so I figured the worst that would happen is that I'd get a message about joining the church or whatever. He messaged me later that night to ask how I was doing. I responded, we had a relatively superficial and casual conversation and nothing alarming goes on. He brings up school and tells me that he's wanting to transfer to a BYU school in my state. I was like, cool. I know basically nothing about that school other than Mormons. And he tells me, haha, that's fine, I just figured it'd be nice to know someone in, and yeah, I agreed, since he'd be moving almost halfway across the country if he transferred. The conversation ended there for the night. Then the next day I get a good morning message from him and again, we just have a casual conversation of hey. How are you? I'm doing good. You? Same. And that's about it. This is where it gets weird. He asked if I had any plans for the day, and he told me he had plans to see a friend. Then he told me not to worry, he wasn't seeing a girl. I was like, okay? Weird, but figured it was just a one-off comment. It wasn't. He continued to send me similar reassurances throughout the day. He let me know he was going to the store, but don't worry. He was with family. I didn't get a text from him for a few hours and he tells me he took a road trip, but don't worry. He was with his guy friends. He sends me a goodnight message and then tells me he's spending the night at a friend's, but don't worry. There's no girls around. Then he told me he was happy God put me in his life. Mind you, This was literally after the second time we ever talked, ever. I told him that I wasn't worried because there was nothing to be worried about, and I reminded him that this was literally the second time we've ever had a conversation with each other. I thought that'd get him to back off, but then Valentine's Day comes around and he asks me how it went for me, and then says that he wishes we could have been together in my state. I told him point blank that I wasn't looking for a relationship, and he says that's fine, let's just remain faithful and honest and we'll see where things go. I stopped responding after that. Anyway, this all happened over the span of like 3 days lol. I knew Mormons had a tendency to move fast. The nice guy who turned into my stalker for 6 years. When I went to college, I met this group of people who were nerds like me and I was super excited. Most of them were cool, but there was this one guy. Tim seemed alright at first, but he seemed to kind of latch onto me. He started to pour out all his, many, problems to me and just seemed to try to heap all his issues on me, and try to make me carry the burden. I was dealing with a lot of my own issues at that time, and my own issues almost pulled me down, so I gently told him that I couldn't be his sounding board/life raft anymore. And then I realized that he tried to act like my boyfriend and would act super jealous anytime I paid any attention to any of the other guys in our group. He had some serious anger issues, to the point of punching walls and such, and I was scared of him. He was also very entitled, thought the world owed him something. I had a boyfriend, who didn't go to the same college, and he knew this. I told him no, over and over. Then gave the "I'm in a relationship" line just to get him to back off. He faded into the background, but we stayed friendly. Which was a mistake, but I was young and naive. Eventually, the college BF and I broke up. And there was Tim, asking me out again. And again I said no. Not too long after, I was dating someone else. We stayed friendly, but I distanced myself from him. And sporadically, we would talk and he would always bring it back to, "So when are you going to give me a chance?" 3 boyfriends later, I was sick of it. I was with someone and we were about to move in together. He called me out of the blue to talk to me and of course, he said something cute about "So when are you and I going out on a date?" To which I finally said never, we are never going on a date. I am in a relationship with someone, have been for a while now. And even if I wasn't, I still wouldn't date you. It's been 6 years and I've never called you to go on a date, even when I was single. I don't have time for this. If you can't understand that, then you and I can't be friends anymore. He seriously got pissy about it, about me getting with every guy except him, who I was with is none of his business. He told me to go and never call him again, saying something about one day regretting it. He then told me don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out and hung up. And when he hung up, all I felt was relief. Relief that I would never have to talk to, walk on eggshells around or be uncomfortable around him again. I blocked him on Facebook and my phone and never looked back. If you are reading this, Tim, F you. You were an entitled piece of SHT and I didn't owe you anything. Nice guy was going to commit suicide to get my attention. I am a trans man. I was born female but I'm actually a guy. I first met Nice Guy through some friends during my sophomore year of high school and everyone in the group, including Nice Guy, was aware. Also warning for self-harm, suicide, and transphobia. So I have a healing personality and people like to open up to me. I've kind of accepted my role among friends as the friend everyone vents to. On its own this is a bad thing, but their side of the deal is they're all people I can vent to. Nice Guy noticed everyone venting to me and I guess wanted that attention. We had talked before, mainly sending memes and stuff, so it wasn't weird. But one meme he wouldn't stop sending was a meme about having a tomboy GF. He'd say stuff like "This could be you." I'd just reply with "But I'm a guy," and stuff like that. His venting to me seemed normal at first until the drama around Nice Guy, Friend A, and Girl B started. Basically Nice Guy had a thing for Girl B had a thing for Friend A, and Friend A was interested in Girl B. Nice Guy told the group he had a thing for Girl B but then told only Friend A that he was okay with Friend A dating her. They got together and Nice Guy started to complain to me about it. I knew Friend A wouldn't have pulled such a dick move, so I asked about it and he said Nice Guy told him it was fine. I, like the over-trusting dumbass I was, Just thought NiceGuy told him that because he didn't want to stop friend A from being happy. NiceGuy and I talked a lot. I didn't get much done most days because he wanted to message and call 24/7. I didn't mind because I didn't normally have much better to do, but I did like my time. His venting got darker and more extreme as time went on. Friend A and girl B broke up, but he didn't seem interested in her anymore, but he still complained about friend A dating her. Then I stopped talking with him as much because I was helping with another friend in our group dealing with his own stuff. NiceGuy found out that the reason I was paying the other friend more attention was because he self-harmed. And that's when NiceGuy's self-harming started. At first he just talked about wanting to do it and I would talk him down. He started self-harming without telling me, then coming to me for attention from it. I know self-harm isn't for attention, but his was. All of what he did was, and his actions later proved it. Friends A and friend C started to notice I wasn't doing too good. I explained what was happening and that it was starting to affect me. I also had my own stuff to deal with because of my family and problems at school. I had never had to ask someone to slow down on venting to me, and I felt bad for doing it, but friend A and C helped me. I told NiceGuy I couldn't keep this going and asked him to not vent to me, at least not as much. I explained we could still be friends, but that I needed to keep myself okay if I wanted to help anyone. He said that he understood and stopped venting to me. For one night. The next day he was back on to telling me in great detail about how he had and was planning to self-harm. He would even send me pictures. I asked him to stop and he would for a day before going back to it. Friend A and C confronted him in a group chat we were all in that NiceGuy was the admin of. NiceGuy got mad at friend A and kicked him from the group. Friend A and C started a new chat that was just us to help support me. NiceGuy got worse and I begged him to see a professional, but he refused. He also started openly admitting he had a thing for me, and I reminded him I was a guy and that he was very much straight. He just said I could be his tomboy GF. He started talking about suicide and I got more insistent about him seeing a professional. I told friend C and he told NiceGuy's mom. She agreed to send him to therapy. I hoped that thing would get better, but they only got worse. When I slipped up and fell back into old habits I had finally quit after well over a year of trying, they got more instant that I needed to block him. I tried to talk with him, but he just got worse and I couldn't take it. He wasn't even listening to what I was saying. I said goodbye and blocked him. NiceGuy messaged friend A with a string of abuse. I've seen the messages. It's summed up as NiceGuy claiming that friend A had manipulated me and forced me to block him, and that friend A, a straight guy who has no interest in me, is trying to steal me from him. Friend A basically told him that I'm my own person, a man, and that he's straight. NiceGuy messaged friend C complaining about it, and friend C just said that I'm my own person and made the choice to block him. NiceGuy still thinks that friend C is his friend. It's been about a yearish, and every once in a while I get a message from one of NiceGuy's friends asking me to unblock him. I just tell them no. His friends say he's not suicidal and doesn't self-harm anymore. He just wanted my attention. I'm doing better now too. Friend A and C are still super close to me and we're all doing pretty good. If you enjoy this video, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please let us know in the comments below. Turn on the notifications to know when we post new videos. Thank you for coming to the House of Reddit.